What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today I am on the BEGODE T4. This is 3 days of having it now. So the first day I got it, y'all saw a little bit of riding, and I wasn't able to get it to top speed because of the firmware problem. Now the second day I went out, and it was mainly just riding it on like a Black Diamond mountain bike trail at night. Wasn't able to get a lot of good footage. But what happened is that very technical trail got me extremely used to this wheel, guys. About 6 miles of that extremely hard mountain bike trail at night, and it wasn't fast, but it got me really adapted to the wheel. It was probably the best thing I could have done by far to get used to a electric unicycle. It was rocks, tight corners. I mean, every obstacle you could imagine, guys, and I had to do it at nighttime. So it was ridiculous. But at the end of it, I got home and it was probably the sweatiest I've ever been after a ride, guys. I usually don't break a sweat on rides, but after that ride last night, dude, I was drenched. I was worn out. I fell like twice and slammed my rear end like into a rock after falling. So it was hard, but it made me extremely good on this thing in a short period of time. And I have never got adapted to a wheel so damn fast in my life, guys. And look at this. This is after the update, and this thing is screaming fast. And I had no hesitation on it, guys. I'm definitely going faster than 38 miles an hour. It says that the top speed is 38 for some reason on this. And I switched it from kilometers per hour on the screen over to miles per hour, and I was hitting 42, 43 easily on the main road in some places, guys. I don't know if something's wrong with it or what, but I was absolutely flying on this, and it felt like I was flying. It really did. And as we're this all right here in this short period of time, it's incredible how fast I was able to go from town all the way to the trails to ride on. And there's simply no other wheel I've gotten, I mean, this level of confidence on in 1 or 2 days of having it. It's just simply no other wheel out there. And man, I have missed the power of a BEGODE, man. The the last BEGODE I had, like I said, was the EXN, guys, and it's fun and it's fast. But what happened is that thing is just way too big and bulky for my liking for riding every day, and that's why I always ended up going with the V12 high torque and just the normal V12. Just because the EXN, I don't need 30 like what 2,700 watt hours just to go out for a quick ride and have some fun. So that thing was just way too heavy. I love the speed, I love the acceleration, and I do love it for all day riding scenarios, like that adventure riding scenario where I did that day where I rode, main roads, trails, rode to the trails all around, and I did it from a hotel, so I wanted that peace of mind leaving the hotel and just going on a ride, and I didn't want to have range anxiety. I wanted to have a lot of range. But for your everyday type of stuff, dude, like this is just unbeatable, man. I mean, seriously, this is it, man. And I like this. Like, I haven't tried the Master, but I can assume the Master has to be just totally badass. I mean, it really like if this thing shreds this hard, and the Master's even faster than this little thing, and you know, it that has to be a outstanding wheel. You saw right there that lady literally stopped in the road because she stopped dead in the middle of the road. I didn't have she had a stop sign, and she just stopped dead in the middle of the road because she was looking at me, wondering what the hell was coming down the road, and she was literally just appalled. And can't get mad at that. She just didn't know. She thought there was some crazy shit coming down the road, and so she just slams on brakes in the middle of the intersection. But you got to navigate stuff like that, guys. The best thing to do is be on your P's and Q's when you're riding this thing, and always be aware of your surroundings. Use your hand signals, like with this guy right here, wave him through. Like I waved that guy through right there and then shot up through here. And people respect that. If you can keep traffic flowing and keep people moving and all, they don't really care what you're going to be doing on the wheel as long as you can, direct them and not hold them up. That's all that really matters, honestly, to people driving. They don't care if you're, being exactly, doing exactly the way you need to do it for the rules of the road and whatnot. They just want to get to where they're going and do it efficiently and safely, and you be safe as well. So use your hand signals, look around, and if you got to make up a maneuver or make up a pathway, you can do it on this. It's not like a bicycle or a motorcycle. You have way more maneuverability. You can get around any situation and get out of any situation on this thing like you wouldn't believe. See right here? This is me loving it. Like, this is legit, guys. After I updated it yesterday, I'm telling you, I went straight to that Black Diamond mountain bike trail. So I was not able to open it up and go fast. This is the first time I was able to open it up and go fast after the update. Legit, I had no practice on it, going fast on it, before I turned on this camera. At all. I just turned on the camera, and this is my first, like, road riding at all on this thing. And this is legit. I mean, it might not look like it to you, but I feel like I'm absolutely ripping it. And it felt so much damn fun today. I had a blast on it. I really did have a blast on it. There is a scenario coming up, though, guys, where I'm going to be making another video. This was literally, like, I went and rode it for an hour straight. Just an hour of riding it, ripping it, crashing it, doing off-road trails, hitting gravel paths, all that. I just rode as hard as I could for 1 hour straight. And I ended up it just on the off-road stuff, guys, it is great everywhere, but the only thing I really noticed, though, guys, is that V12 high torque on, like, the uphill climbs of the off-road sections, and there's not many of them. So with the amount of off-road sections that are uphills and are climbs, it just doesn't justify having the V12 high torque for that scenario. It really doesn't justify it. And like, there was a few places where I really missed that power, because you can tell the difference. The V12 high torque, whenever you're coming around like a corner and you have no speed at all going into an uphill, that's where that V12 high torque it was incredible how fast you can feel it. And, like, it still is. Like, I love that wheel still, and I'll still ride it for sure. But I mean, that V12 high torque, you can definitely tell going from that to this exactly where that V12 high torque shined. And it was just those uphills where you had no speed going into them, and that thing would just take you up it like a magic carpet. This thing shines everywhere else except for those hard uphills, guys, where you're coming around on a trail and you got, like, one of those tight switchback corners, and then you have, like, an abrupt uphill right after that. This one, you notice it. You have to lean into it way more aggressively than the V12 high torque, and and that's just the only places where I was seeing where I was missing that high torque motor. Otherwise, I like the speed, man. I really do. Like, this thing is flying. And the suspension is working great, even though I don't have it completely dialed in yet. Even though I haven't tinkered with it enough and I haven't got it perfect, it is riding great. And I have it pumped up way too much. I do have it. I have it at 280 PSI right now. And on the back right there, I think my rebound adjustment is, like, right in the middle. It literally is, like, right in the middle of being fast or being slow. It's, like, right in the middle. But I do have too much air pressure in it for my weight. I did notice that at the end of this ride, for sure. There's one place where I did bottom it out, though, which kind of makes me think, like, having that high of pressure in it might not be a bad thing. But where I bottomed it out was I hit a jump, and on the other side of the jump, I landed in a freaking hole. Like, it was like a big grass hill. I've hit this grass hill, 100 times before. And on this specific time, I jumped over the thing and landed on the only freaking hole on the other side of it. Because you're jumping kind of blindly into the landing. It's such a big hill. But I landed literally in that little hole, and it bottomed completely out, and I crashed, and I heard it. But what happened is it hit those little retainer things you saw in the unboxing video. There's, like, these little stoppers now on the bottom of the suspension to keep it from completely bottoming out. And whenever I slammed abruptly, hitting that jump and then landing in the damn hole on the other side of it, it did bottom out completely. But it didn't break anything. It didn't sound like metal on metal because it had those two retainer rings on the bottom of the suspension to act as your final source of dampening. If you bottom it out completely, it still has those to hit without being metal on metal, which I did find very effective. And I think running, if you can get used to like the high tire or higher pressure in the shock than you would normally think you need, I think it might be good. Um, the only places where I saw that I needed lower pressure in that shock was like, for instance, full speed on a straightaway and you hit like an anomaly, this not like a small bump or anything like that. I'm talking like a good size like hump or bump in the road. And the thing is, like if the suspension is not dialed in and you don't have the right PSI for your weight, it's just going to kind of be stiff-legged feeling, if you know what I mean, going into it. If you can bend your knees and preload for it in cahoots with the suspension, then it'll work fine. But that's the only thing. And one thing that got me right here, guys, is I think I either got a pedal clip or I don't know what the hell happened coming up here, but I busted it, dude. I busted butt twice in this video. And I think it was just pedal clips, man. I think I get really used to the high pedals on these wheels, and it just, when I pedal clip, there's nothing you can really do about it, guys. And if you pedal clip as a new rider, guys, it's just gonna happen. It's just the nature of these things. It's not like, no, that was my dumb ass just bobbing and weaving. But what happens, guys, like right there, I mean, it's just gonna happen. You can't get mad about it. That's why you wear your gear. Like right there, that could happen to anybody. Like straight up. That's why I wear the gear, because it literally is nothing. When you hit the ground right there, knee pad impacted. I got some grass in the knee pad, and I'm good to go. Literally good to go. Just pop right back up, like it didn't even happen. And it's all learning right there, guys. That all, even though that was a crash right there, something in my brain learned something about that scenario for the next time. And I'll be better in the next scenario that comes up like that, then I'll do something differently, if that makes sense. And that's just how it is. Don't be afraid to crash. That's why I really suggest wearing gear, is because you won't be afraid to crash. And every time, like, we always had this saying when we raced dirt bikes, like, I mean, went out one day, literally broke my collarbone on my dirt bike. I just sent it into a tree. I'm talking send it into a tree. And I mean, you could get mad about it, beat yourself up about it at the end, but at the end of the day, you're not getting faster and you're not learning unless you're falling. And like, you can have, you can go out, practice all day, not fall, and definitely get better. But the crashes, you always learn something from, and I'm being serious about that. So that's why you got to protect yourself. Wear the gear. I have wrist guards on under the Alpine Star SP8 gloves right here. I'm wearing the lazy rolling jacket with the level 2 padding in it. And this jacket, guys, I've crashed in it so many times, and they hold up. They're durable. They have Kevlar in them. I swear by them. And you see me riding in different pants a lot. The three pants that I usually ride in are these. These are the Fall Raven Vita Pro pants. These are just like outdoor pants, guys. These are really expensive, like outdoor pants that I like these just for like everyday use. And the times that you see me wearing these when I ride is where I'm going to be like on an outing or going to do something, or run errands or anything else. And then I'm also going to be riding. So I can wear this as like casual pants. They're not like Fox Racing pants or something like that, or motocross pants. But I do like them because they're quite durable. Now, you want to wear knee pads with these pants because they're expensive. And if you crash and you rip a hole in the knee of them, you're going to be pissed. So you got to, this right here, this is where I hit that damn hole and crashed, went down hard. Guys, one other thing that's great about these wheels right here, I'll get back to the pants in a second. One thing that's great about these wheels that are lightweight like this, like the V12s and whatnot, the smaller wheels, like 17-inch wheels that are lighter weight, is when you crash them, nothing happens to them, dudes. Like I literally, that thing just flew down that hill, and I've crashed this thing 4 or 5 times since I got it, and everything on it's fine. There's like the fairings don't have anything wrong with them. I literally just wiped it off, and it looks completely fine. I'm being dead serious. I've crashed the shit out of it 4 or 5 times good since I got it, and it's good to go. It's great. And that blows my mind, because if it was a heavier wheel, it just would have so much inertia hitting the ground. Like if this was the Master and I just did that, something might have broke. And that just is, I mean, that's just serious. Like, I mean, you got to think about stuff like that. It's a lightweight wheel, and it's built well. So you can really jump it and do stupid stuff on it and crash it hard, and it's not going to tear it up. But I think it's sick, man. After that update, it was a game changer. I absolutely hated the way it rode before that firmware update. After I updated this thing, it is freaking blazing, dude. It is sweet. It's a really nice piece of equipment. I mean, seriously, it's fun, man. But you could pick up one of these things for about 2,400. It's gonna be about $2,450 for one of these things, and they're gonna be coming out in October, guys. And you can put in your pre-order right now for them, but the actual final price has not been finalized yet, which is weird. So if you look on the website, click the link below to go to eWheels, and then if you go there and check it out right now, it says it could be $2,450 or it could be $3,000. And I think that's just kind of based on the prices of the batteries and the components at the time whenever they ship these out. So, or I don't know how all that factors in, and I don't know why it literally says on there, it could be 3,000, it could be 2,450. So I wish I had better answers for you than as to why that is or what final price it's going to be, but that's where we're at. And the way the pre-order deposit thing works is if you put in your $500 pre-order deposit right now for it, it reserves your spot for it, whether it be the $2,450 final price or the $3,000 final price. That $500 will go towards the total price you pay. And you'll get an email as soon as the wheel lands at the LA port, and then that's whenever you'll just pay the rest of your money, and then they'll send your wheel out. And that's how it's worked for years. And it's a good system. That way they know how many they need to get, and that way they don't get too many of them or too little of them. You just pre-order it, and it takes a little bit of time, but that's the way to keep the inventory fresh and not have these things sitting in a warehouse for too long. Because you don't want batteries sitting around. You don't want these things sitting around. So I really think that's like why the pre-order thing exists, and I think it works. Works good. If you can be patient with it, give it a month or so, and you'll have your wheel in. So, but I am so stoked on this little thing, guys. I really didn't expect it to be this good. Like I was expecting it to be like a underdog significantly to the Master. I rode the Master around a little bit, but I never felt this comfortable on the Master. The little bit I rode it, I justifiably couldn't get used to the Master. I only rode it at an event, like at Shred Fest, for like 20 minutes or so. But this, I can tell you, I feel way more comfortable and confident on this wheel. And it might be just because I've been riding it for 3 days. You gotta put that in there. But I really like the size and I like the weight of it. These smaller 17-inch wheels really fit me as a smaller rider way better. At about 135 pounds, I think like in the 150 to 175 pound range of a rider would also be perfect for this thing, guys. I think for anybody like over 200 pounds, go with the Master. But for anybody under 200 pounds, dude, this is going to be so much fun, and it's going to work so good for you. And like your body just meshes with it, and you adapt to it quick. this is literally 3 days. Like, this is only the third charge on this thing, actually. This is with less than 60 miles on it right here where you're seeing me riding it. Less than 60 miles of ever being on this thing. And that's incredible, man. The confidence I had riding around these rocks off-road and over all this rough terrain right here is, I mean, I wouldn't do that on the V12. I simply would not ride the V12 without suspension that fast through that section back there. And especially on this downhill section coming up with all these rocks. Like through here, yeah, you don't really, can't tell the difference. But coming up, watch this next section where that suspension's just engaging constantly. Even though I have it pumped up way too high, it's working so good. And this is without it being dialed in, and it is still working incredibly well. I mean, that's pretty good, man. But anyways, if y'all are wondering why the selfie stick is mysteriously visible somehow now, so I've been running the Insta361R camera predominantly, and I broke the selfie stick in half on a crash, and I duct taped it back together, but I didn't have enough duct tape to make it completely rigid, so it's like, it's hanging down. But I was like, dude, this is going to give me a whole new, like, cool angle, and it's actually closer to the wheel. So instead of it being closer to me, it's closer to the wheel, so you can really see the wheel and what it's doing mechanical-wise with the suspension moving up and down and everything. And I just rolled with it, guys. This is literally a broken selfie stick that's duct taped together that you're seeing. And I was like, dude, this actually is going to be a whole new cool perspective. So let's send it and work with it. And I like the way it turned out. It actually turned out good. And again, I changed it up, guys. The power pads I'm running on the back now are the E-Rides aggro pads, and I'm only running the back half of the aggro pads stuck on the back of this thing. And they have LED lights on the back as well. You can charge up and just turn on when you want. See those LED lights back there? You just press the button in the middle at nighttime, and this whole back thing lights up. And then I got the brake-free tech on the back of my helmet too, dudes. So I'm really visible at night, especially from behind. I got a lot of brake lights back there and a lot of red lights in the back, which is good, man. You want cars to be able to see you. And then I got the E-Rides Iron Man pedals on it. And dude, the Iron Man pedals are freaking awesome. Anyways, dudes, if y'all want one of these, links below. I'll see you in the next one.